over the land. It is green. A new grace has been released. The glory of the latter is greater than the former. The blessing is here. It's already. Lift up your hands, come on. The glory of the latter is greater than the former. The blessing is here. It's all here. All here. There's an overflow, abundance of favor. It's a new level. It's a new level. There's an overflow, abundance of blessings. I'll take it over. I'll take it over. Somebody wave your hands over your family, over your education, over your finances. Come on. I see the nations come to me to receive answers from my knees. I am shining as a house on a hill. My greatness cannot be hidden. Sing it again.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Receive answers from my lips. I am shining. House on a hill. My greatness cannot be hidden. It's beyond my wildest dreams. What the Lord is doing. My reality. Say it's my reality. It's beyond my wildest dream. What the Lord is doing. My reality. There's an overflow. Abundance of faith. It's a new level. It's a new level. There's an overflow, abundance of blessing. I'll take it over. Take it over. There's an overflow.
Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Tuesday Live Success Book Review. Today, we are going to be talking about an amazing book. I'll introduce it shortly. Already, you've seen it on the screen. So today is going to be very amazing and very interactive because I have a friend of mine here. I have a special guest that will be sharing insights from this amazing book. Before we go in, if you're just watching for the first time, my name is Ogbueli. I'm an inspirational reading coach and author, co-founder of Faith Resources, an informal educational company that provides platforms and resources for spiritual and personal development. So thank you so much for taking out your time to join me this morning as we review this amazing book by our very own Mr. Nnamdi Ezeigbo. Now, before we go into this book has made a huge impression on me. Early this year, I bought this book, Entrepreneurship The SLOT Way, Succeeding in a Tough Business Environment. I bought this book and I just shoved it into my bookshelf. I don't know why I didn't read it immediately, but sometime last month I brought out this book. I kept having this in mind. Go and read this book. Go and read read this book. But finally, last month, I brought it out. I said, in this book this week. So I started reading the book and I was blown away. I read this book in one day. I couldn't put it down. I was completely blown away by the insights, the inspiration, the the truthfulness. It is so real. And before I go in with further discussion with my friend, I would like to introduce my friend that will be sharing briefly with us today on some lessons that we have learned from this amazing book, Entrepreneurship The SLOT Way, Succeeding in a Tough Business Environment, written by Nnamdi Ezeigbo. If you don't know who Nnamdi Ezeigbo is, I'm sure you must have passed through a slot store. Slot where you buy mobile phone accessories, computers, and all that. He is the founder of Slot. And this is so inspiring because he shared, it's not just a book on entrepreneurship and business. He also shared part of his life story. It's more like a biography, it's all mixed together. When you read this book, you understand where he's coming from, and it will also inspire you to know that no matter the beginnings that you have, you can actually still achieve something amazing with your life. So I am going to invite my sister, Mrs. Stella, to come on and share briefly on some of the insights that she has gained from this book. Hello, Mrs. Stella, are you on? Are you there? Thank you. That was my mother-in-law. We work from home, so don't be surprised when you see family, friends, children all around. It's part of the fun. So, Mrs. Stella, are you right there? Hello? Okay, while we wait for her, I want to go on and read about his story. That is the first chapter. He wrote about his story. It is a very long one, but I know that everybody likes a nice story. So I'm going to read it. I would have told the story, but I think it's better to read it out so that you really get to connect with this author, this amazing author. Now, my story, my slot story. I'm reading from the book. Let me start by attempting to put this book within the context of my story and that of my company, Slot Systems Limited, because I think this might help in understanding the perspectives, the paradigms, and backgrounds that formed the ideas shared within the pages of this book. I come from a family of 9. After secondary school, I had to stay home and work for 4 years to raise money to go back to school because my parents were not able to pay my school fees. When I got admission to read electrical engineering in the University of Ife, now called Obafemi Awolowo University, I couldn't accept the admission because of lack of funds. I had to go and work in a factory to earn enough money to continue my education. That was a very difficult period. While my colleagues who worked with me gained admission and went back to school, I had to stay on the job for 4 years. After the first 2 years of working, I had saved enough money to return to school, but unfortunately, my dad, who had been saving the money for me, had spent it due to immense pressure at home. He gave me the depressing news after I had gained admission again 2 years into my working time and asked for the money. So he gave him the news, the sad news, after he had gained admission. That was 2 years into his working years. Since it had been spent, I had to work for another 2 years. My savings were enough to keep me for the first 1 year, and the following year, my dad was able to pay my fees. When we read these stories, when you read the stories of these great men, you understand that they also have humble beginnings. Because most times I think most people feel that these amazing great men that have, accomplished great things, that it was handed down to them or they came from well-to-do families already. But it's inspiring to know that these people also have their struggles, their humble beginnings, and if they are able to still persevere and achieve the success they enjoy today that we all celebrate, then it can happen to you, it can happen to me. So as a student, modeling and TV commercials were some of the things I did in school to raise money to pay for my fees. So as a student in high school, I was good at sciences, especially mathematics and physics. That was one of the reasons why I was inclined towards studying engineering. Perhaps a more important reason for me was to ensure I was well positioned to get a job, a good job in an oil servicing company like Chevron or Mobil. This is a dream of almost every engineering student, to work in Chevron, to work in Mobil, or one of all these big oil servicing companies. So that was his dream, and he worked really hard. So let me just rush and get to the end. He did perform very well. He was an excellent student, and then he graduated. But he couldn't find any job in an oil servicing company. So let me move back to a little. So the fortunate thing was that while I was serving under my friend, at the time when I was getting frustrated because he couldn't find a job, he started, learning from a friend. He met a friend that has a shop by the business district of Lagos. Is in Lagos, Computer Village. If you've been to Lagos, everybody knows that Computer Village is where you buy your phones, your computers, your accessories, and all that. So, so at the time when I was getting frustrated with not finding my dream job, repairing computers was becoming popular in Nigeria. I had started to seriously think about becoming self-employed since I could not land my dream job, and fixing computers was looking like an area one could earn some good money. I had observed a few guys who earned a lot in a few minutes for fixing computers. Then that caught my attention. Fortunately, one of them had become my friend, and later on, when he started running his own computer outfit, I reconnected with him and requested to become an apprentice under him to learn how to fix computers. I spent 6 months as a non-income earning apprentice under my friend. You know, these are the inspiring and amazing things, things about this book and this story, because this is a graduate. He came out with an amazing result. But because he couldn't get a job, he had to go to his friend and become an apprentice, non-earning apprentice with his friend. How many people, how many graduates can do that? Like, we have this degree and we feel that because we have this degree, everything should be handed over to us. But this man, Mr. Ezeigbo, was humble enough to go and become an apprentice with a friend. So after acquiring the skills while still being an apprentice, I started gaining some popularity and a reputation of being a reliable and trustworthy problem solver. He had integrity. Customers began to notice and will often request that I be the one to sort out their problems. It was only a matter of time before it became expedient for me to move. At the time I did, I had no cash to rent a shop or pay for anything necessary to start a new business, but I didn't give up. You know, if reading this book is the only thing we accomplished today, I think we've accomplished something. And I believe that this story alone will inspire you to get this book and learn more. The fortunate thing was that while I was serving under my friend as an apprentice, I had built many good relationships with customers that came for repairs. There are so many points popping up. He was humble, he had integrity, he built good relationships. These are little things that we take for granted, but they are the things that help to expand us. They help to make us into the people, or into that person that you intend to become. These little values and characters and virtues that we exhibit in our everyday life. What I did then was that when people brought jobs to me, I told them the price of whatever was bad and then charged them separately for a service fee. I'll return whatever was taken out and replace it with a new one I bought. The customers will take the replaced one away and dispose it themselves. That practice helped customers to trust me, and that became a basis of a new business career for me. But my new business was never really going to get up and running easily. As much as you will be reading my impression about how money tends to be overrated in business in this book, it is obvious that money helps tremendously in starting and running a business. When you lack money while starting a business, it is not that you will be unable to start or eventually make a success of it. It is just that you will find much of the process more difficult than if you had money. So let me stop here. But as you continue to read the story, you discover that he finally, went to a friend of his that owns a bookshop beside the computer village in Lagos, and requested a space. So because the friend already had um, generating sets for light and a space, it was easy for him to get a space where he could work. Of course he was paying rent there, but that was exactly where he started his business, until another friend that another relationship that he had in the process offered to pay for a bigger space for him, and from there they blew up and began to grow. So at this point, let me check on my guest to know if my guest is here. Okay, are you ready? Hello,
Very
are
well.
you
Thank you.
ready, Mrs.
Yes,
Stella?
I
Okay,
am.
okay, okay.
Can you
Thank you. All
hear
right.
me?
So I remember when I shared this book, I was just going so, I was so I was feeling so wonderful reading this book. So I posted it on my status. And Mrs. Esther commented and said, I am buying this book. Oh, no, no, no. She sent me a message that I already picked up mine. I was so excited. I said, okay, we are going to review this book together. So tell me, what are some of your impressions reading this? Before we go into the takeaway points, I just want to know your impressions reading this book.
Okay. Good to have me here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Ogo, for this opportunity. When you posted, just like you said, you've had this book a long time. My husband actually bought this book because I would say that we have patronized lot for many years as I can remember. So it's a place I know he usually go to. So he picked the book, and I remember seeing the book sometime early this year or last year with him. So when you posted that, I asked him, please, can I have that book? Or God just posted something about, and he went straight. My house is a book yard. He went straight and got the book without looking for it. I said, give me that. That was when I posted it to you. And
Oh,
honestly, reading this book, it's I think all every Nigerian businessman, okay, entrepreneur should read this because this book is written by a Nigerian for Nigerian businesses. He
yeah.
understands our terrain and what is obtainable here, and he actually tailored this book for us Nigerians. Telling us his story. Yeah, an amazing book, I must tell you. I enjoyed reading it. Thank you for making me go to read this book. Thank you.
Okay, I'm telling you, as in when I was reading this book, my children were around, they came on holiday. I was just screaming, amazing, amazing. My God, what is it? I said, the book. The book is amazing. Like, I was just having light bulbs, all over. So,
Yeah.
please, I would like you to, share some takeaway points from this book. By the way, Mrs. Stella Oboko is an inspirational writer, a blogger, an amazing one. You need to read some of her. her pieces. Amazing. Maybe before the end of this program, you let us know how we can connect with you. People that are watching, how they can connect
Okay.
with you. Okay, so
Uh,
share some of the takeaway points that you have.
okay. Yeah. You see, this book has plenty takeaway points, but you told me to streamline to just five, so I will try to just talk about five. But it has far, far more than five.
So good.
So I'm going to try. Like I said earlier, Nnamdi Ezeigbo did this work purely for Nigerians, and it's a good one. A lot of times we read a whole lot of what is happening in other countries and how their entrepreneurs are doing amazingly well and all that. And some people just complain it can't work in Nigeria, or this is why it won't work, or they have this and we don't have this. Yes, I'm happy he actually acknowledged some of the things they have, and he told us from the beginning that if you want to do business in Nigeria, your feasibility study must take into consideration the situations on ground. You can't say you have your Harvard Business School qualification and all that, and you say you want to practice all that you have gotten from there here in Nigeria. You may run into hitches. I'm happy that he was able to narrow in a lot of things, factors you must consider if you must run business in Nigeria. Now, my first takeaway was his beginning. He started by telling us who an entrepreneur is, what it means, what entrepreneurship is all about. And he narrowed it into three things: creating value, creating jobs, and creating wealth. Three, simple. If you're an entrepreneur, you are in there for three main things: value, jobs, and wealth. And then he went ahead to say, to differentiate between a business owner and an entrepreneur. I liked this part. I like this part because it opened our eyes. A lot of people just bear this tag. What's your occupation? Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur.
But I got you now.
But you know, and is it an easy way to just give yourself a title or a qualification? Maybe, but I like the fact that he was able to differentiate the two. He started by saying that all business owners are not entrepreneurs, but you can be a business owner and an entrepreneur. Now, he told us who a business owner is. He said, one, a business owner, it's someone who is into business. A business owner is a person who starts and runs a business solely with his sole aim is to make profits and satisfy his own needs and his interests. That's the only thing he's into business for. Myself, my needs, my comforts. That's his concern. He said, no, you are not an entrepreneur if that is your reason for starting up that business. And secondly, he said, buying and selling. It took me time to actually sit and understand that buying and selling is not entrepreneurship. He said it's not. You just go pick, come sit and sell. And he went ahead to say that so many Nigerian businessmen are business owners, sorry for saying men, business owners are actually into buying and selling. So, what makes you an entrepreneur? You're an entrepreneur first to add value and to meet needs. That's the basics. An entrepreneur, your job is adding value first, finding innovations that meet people's needs. Finding innovations that meet people's needs, not merely about making money. Like he all said all through the book, just do all this, wealth will come following. He said
Yeah.
it's not first about the money, the wealth, the profit. It's about meeting needs, creating values innovations that will meet people's needs. He talked about the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, Tony Elumelu, Leo Stan, Steve Jobs, and how they saw needs which they met. And in the course of meeting these needs, wealth came
Yeah. So much well.
following.
Oh my. Oh my.
So it's not about I want to do this so that my name will be heard. No, it's about what need is it meeting? And until it meets needs, up until then, wealth will naturally come, according to him. Okay, that's my first takeaway. The second takeaway
Oh
from
my
the
God.
book.
Just the first takeaway, and it feels
Ah,
like we
yes,
attended
no.
like a full seminar.
Ogo. You said five, and I'm just trying. And what I say. Then secondly, it's what are the requirements to be an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur, what does it take? What are your requirements? He narrowed it into two things: soft skill and hard skill. Soft skills, he called them inbuilt. You are born with them. They are there. You don't need to struggle to bring them out. They just natural talents from God. And then he talked about hard skills, where he talks about abilities required to be an entrepreneur. It takes ability. Talks about competence. It's good you have seen a need you want to meet, but there are requirements. And then you went ahead above your talent, which is good, which is an advantage to you. You need competence, and he narrowed competence. I like the way he wrote this book. Everything is narrowed down. He starts, then he narrows it to something, breaks it down for you to actually understand what he's saying. He went ahead to narrow down. He talked about competence, and he says competence is hard skill you get through practicing, learning, and training. Competence don't jump on you. You learn it with practice over time. You and I know that whatever you do consistently, you get better at. And then you talked about practicing. You need to practice. You talked about learning. You need to be open to learn. You need to be open to learning. And then you talked about training. You need to give yourself to training. I would like to say, unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to get trained because you and I know that training is not cheap. If you
Yeah.
want to do well in what you do, business, career, you need training. You need to be trained. He had to pay monies from his pocket to go to world-known schools, world
Amazing.
best business schools to get trained. When his paradigm shifted from just making money to, yeah, I need to create values. He got trained. He talked about competence. Now he said something. Competence, and then he talked about passion. When he talked about passion, he said something about passion. He said, if you have passion, you don't have competence. You won't last in that business.
Yeah.
And then he said, if you have competence, but lack passion, which is what some people do, because your dream job, or your dream job, or say your dream career, you have not found your foot there, and then you found yourself doing something that is not what you actually planned to do. And then since you're doing that for the sake of that job, you have gone to be trained, you are competent in it, but he said if you don't have passion, you will struggle. It's going to be a
Yeah.
struggle. So passion and competence must go hand in hand. If that is a skill you need, that is one of the things you need. If as a business, as an entrepreneur, if you want to do well, you talked about opportunities. You have to have eyes to see opportunities. That's a requirement. You have to have eyes to see opportunities, and you have to be sensitive to the needs of people, the society, your clients, everybody around you. I'm rushing. Three. So I go to my number three takeaway, the big one. He said, entrepreneur the slot way. The slot
Wow.
way. Now, slot. He gave it an acronym. He actually got an acronym out of his
Amazing.
business name. You
Amazing.
know, when I read about how he got the slot name, you know, this
Amazing.
book is loaded.
Amazing.
You know, he got it from a computer part. One of his parts of the computer he always worked with. But now he gave it an acronym. It's now an acronym to something we need to learn. The SLOT Way. 4. He said S is solution. L, leadership and learning. O, opportunities. And T, technology.
Technology. Oh my God. In this age,
Technology.
you can't be doing it the way we did it 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
In fact, 10 years is far. 2 years ago.
Yes, oh my, it's true.
2 years ago, were you doing Zoom?
Wow.
Were you on StreamYard 2 years ago? But
No.
things keep changing, and you must follow. You must meet up. You must be on the move. You must catch up with the trend if you must be in business and make progress. You know, for solution, you talked about solving problems through creativity and innovation. It says creativity. See what he called creativity. Creativity is conceiving something original, being the original person to create something. You conceiving it originally, it's your idea, it's your thought, something unusual. And then when you say innovation is implementation of something new, you could bring an innovation into a business. It may not be new where you are, but the fact that you are buying it or bringing it makes it an innovation. Remember, he talked about screen insurance, him bringing in screen insurance and bringing in trading services. They are not new. They were not new in other development countries, but for Nigeria, it was new.
Yes.
Instead of going about with broken screens, I know how painful it can be to buy a phone and the screen goes bad, and you take it back to them within the warranty, and they tell you that 60-70% of the amount you spent on the phone is for the screen. And warranty is not covering it. But you know, he introduced the screen insurance, which was an innovation, and then the trade-in service. So you could use the phone 3-4 months, there's a new one. Yeah, you bring it back.
And then get a new one. Amazing.
Get a new one. And then his new creativity, which was the dual SIM phones. Do you know that I didn't know that he was the one who started this dual SIM thing? I didn't know. I didn't know it was him. Amazing. That made us, you know, those days people who carry it was it a thing of affluent or what? Heavy, and you know the phones were heavier.
Yes.
You carry 3-4, but you know he was able to help people. He saw a need.
Amazing.
A need. Amazing. And creatively, he found a solution. And what was the solution? Giving us our dual SIMs through Techno. His first launch into the phone business. Yeah, or into phone manufacturing. No, he had to partner with the Chinese company to do that. Yeah, so he also talked about finding your unique selling point. You know, that one is a whole plenty. Let's not go there. Let's just continue. Let's continue. So he went ahead to talk about leadership and learning, which is his L. He said, if a business must succeed, it depends on the leader. If it's going to fail or succeed, it depends on your leadership style. You know, he also talked about growing leaders in your business, people who will be able to do things. That makes you a great leader. And then, of course, we talked about learning. He also talked about learning. You need to learn. There is no end to this learning thing in business. So, you know, he kept talking about it, learning. And then he told us 4 factors. Okay, he told us 4 factors.
Esther, hold it right there. Just hold it right there. If I leave you, you're going to dissect this book completely. And yes, I know that the information here is so amazing. And I keep saying it that the reason why we are hosting these book reviews is we are kind of giving you little, fish so that you can eat and get the great taste of
What
fish.
is
You can go out there and get your own fishing. Nobody will ever survive
yeah,
picking fish from others. But when you go to the
exactly
stream and start fishing by going to slots, any slot store, they didn't pay us for this. We are just,
at
you
all.
know,
We
we're
read
just
and we
sharing
got
knowledge
interested.
that has been a blessing to us. You go to any slot shop and pick it up. You can even buy on Amazon. You can download it online. I don't want I don't want Esther to dissect everything in this book because the way she's going, she's really piecing things like, oh my God, you can
But you
actually,
know, I've not said so much. You, I've
yeah,
not gone into it. I'm
and
just
I
giving. This is still small, small fish of this book. Oh, oh God, you know,
amazing,
this is still small, small fish in this book. I've not even said so many things. It's just jump,
amazing.
jump. We are just doing
I'm telling
jump, jump,
you, this book
jump,
you
jump.
can never. Is 200 pages. I'm telling you, I read this book in one day.
It's
I could
even
not
less
put
than
it down.
200. Yeah.
I couldn't put it down. Like I was just screaming, having light bulb moments and all that. So we are not going to continue with this. We want you to
Oh.
go and buy this book and read it for yourself. I know that the story, the introductory story, and even the little points that we've shared so far, if you are, if you love knowledge, this should
Yeah.
inspire you to get this book. It's available everywhere. If you have any slot in your city, you can walk in and buy it.
Yeah, bye.
So
Yeah.
because of time also, we will not be able to continue. Maybe we will definitely do this another time. This is
Another time.
definitely
Yeah.
another time. But before we go today, I would like you to, give us like a formal intro, tell us what you do, and then how people that are watching can connect with you. I know you have your, various groups. You have an amazing, but I've known you for how many years now? I've known you for 4 years, and you've been consistent.
Really?
Yes. When Faith Things started, you were one of the founding members of Faith Things, and that was in 2017. So it's 4 years.
Wow. Four
And
already.
yes, and from then you've already started, writing inspirational, amazing inspirational words that inspire, people. So let people know how to connect with you, what you do, and how they can connect with you.
Okay. My name is Stella Chichi Oboko. Like she said, I'm an inspirational writer and I'm a poet. Now, I don't just do poetry, I write inspirational, simple inspirational poems. Poems anybody can pick and get inspired. Yeah, that's one of the things I do. And then I'm an inspirational writer. I write just to inspire people, just to help people, let's say, make people see the need to keep pushing and moving until you get to where you're going. Yeah, I run 2 pages on Facebook and I'm a blogger. I run the star inscriptions page on Facebook. Just Google star inscriptions and it will pop up. And then I have the Popular and Love page also. And then I run a community for ladies, for women called Popular and Love Ladies Community, where ladies will come to learn, share. If you even want to vent, vent there. But just make sure that by the time you are leaving, you are going to be better than you
Yeah,
came. So that's what we actually do there. It's a community for ladies. And our goal is to see ladies live balanced life. We believe you can have it all. You can have
yeah,
it all. You don't need to be in any of the ditches. You can actually have it all and have a good life. And then thirdly, I'm a content developer. I develop content for people, for musicians. I do trainings a few times, not very regular in recent time because I'm a nursing mother, but I also do that. Like you say, you work from home. I also work from home for now.
Yay.
And then my very new baby, is called the ATQ.
Yes,
Answering tough answering tough questions children and teens ask. It's my new
yes,
baby and we're doing well. For now, we are only on WhatsApp. Hey, you don't need to push a
amazing.
child. If you don't know the answer, no do graga. Just
Let's so
join us and we will tell you what to answer. Yeah, thank you. That's basically the things I do. And then you can find me. I blog on my site, thepopularandlove.com, thepopularandlove.com, or on starinscriptions.com. Yes, you will find my writings in any of those websites. Thank you.
thank you so much. It's really been amazing, and
It's
I'm
amazing
so
being with
happy that
you.
we did this today. We are going to do this often. I'm telling you, I will disturb your life. Like, we are going to do this often. It's so much fun, so much learning, and that's what we are, all about. That's what faith is
Yeah,
all about. We want to educate, we want to empower people, we want to, inspire people to keep reading, to keep learning, keep growing, and keep earning. Because there's a relationship with what you learn and what you
exactly.
earn.
That's
Keep
what you
earning,
earn.
So we're gonna take it away right now. We're going to end this session. We have truly overshot our time. It's
Yeah.
usually 30 minutes at most, and we are in 40 something. But I trust that you've been inspired and you've loved this interaction. Um, so I will see you again on Thursday. This book reviews, if you're just watching for the first time, we host book reviews Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Tuesdays, we have success book reviews, and on Thursdays, we have faith book reviews. So thank you so much for joining us. And I want to say a big bye bye right now and see you on Thursday. Okay, bye.
All right, bye bye.